There's a petition online right now that is growing in support, asking conservation officers to not euthanize a black bear that took a swipe at a jogger in Coquitlam. We told you about this story this week, and for more on this, we're joined by Luci Cadman from the North Shore Black Bear Society. Luci, welcome back. Lots to talk about here.
Good morning. Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, of course. So let's get into the cycle that has become bears in the area where humans are. The bears get destroyed, and then another bear just comes in and takes its place. And this isn't really solving anything. And this must be frustrating for a group like yours who constantly tell people all the tips they need to be aware of to make sure that we're not coming into contact with bears.
Absolutely. We must end this cycle. Now, when bears spend time in residential areas, they're typically accessing natural food sources. Here on the North Shore, we've built our homes next to wildlife corridors, and we should absolutely expect to see bears traveling through our communities. Of course, we've got a responsibility to make sure that we don't invite them to become comfortable on our properties by removing food sources and by using our voice. Now, bears are intelligent animals, and we certainly promote from a safe place such as a deck or an open window. If a bear is on your property, instead of silently filming, use a deep, firm tone, make eye contact, and move the bear on. Let the bear know the boundaries. Now, we'll always share this space with bears on the North Shore. When a bear is killed and taken away from the community, it leaves a void that another bear will soon fill.
Just as an example, the first bear we saw in that footage was a bear that was named Plum on the North Shore because it enjoyed eating some of the plums from the nearby trees. But tell us about Plum's story very quickly.
Yes, so Plum was a female bear that we encountered, first of all, in late July. She was in a residence plum tree. She'd been there for 2 days. She'd eaten so many plums she could barely move. Now, when she'd finished eating and she scaled down the tree, she went back into the green space. Now, the resident was very happy to see Plum, but we, of course, shared the education that even for eating something as innocent as an apple from a tree, a bear will be killed when they spend time in residential areas here in British Columbia. What we need to learn is that we will see these animals traveling through the community. We set those boundaries. We never approach them. Now, this is something that we see very often when we attend bear reports, and we do that to provide education. We see people chasing these bears across busy roads for photographs. So we certainly encourage people to give them lots of personal space and never intentionally approach these animals. That also allows them to feel comfortable in our residential areas where it's not safe for them to stay.
Luci, is relocating the bears an option versus destroying them?
It's often not an option, and it absolutely cannot be the solution. We can't just keep moving bears from the community, keeping food sources available. We'll just invite another bear into the neighborhood. So we need to learn to coexist with these animals. They are peaceful and calm by nature. As I said, we do not want them feeling comfortable on our properties, but we should certainly expect to see them traveling through our green spaces and wildlife corridors here on the North Shore.
And if people have a yard with fruit-bearing trees or something like that, your society even recommending putting in electric fences.
Absolutely. So we certainly encourage picking the fruit before it ripens, collecting fallen fruit on a daily basis and keeping that in a secure area. Fallen fruit is also attracting lots of rats into the community, and that will bring coyotes and potentially even cougars that predate on rats and smaller animals such as skunks and raccoons. So clearing up those food sources and making those food sources unavailable to all wildlife is going to help to reduce wildlife activity in our residential areas. But we certainly promote using electric fencing, installing and maintaining that to protect fruit trees. If you cannot manage your fruit tree, please remove it.
And will we see more local bear activity in the fall as they look to fatten up for hibernation?
Absolutely. So as fall approaches, bears go through a stage called hyperphagia, which is excessive eating, and they are active for 20 hours a day. Now, looking at data from previous years, we also see that this is the time of year when most bears are killed in British Columbia. We're appealing to residents to secure food sources, to move bears on from a safe place, and give them lots of space in their home. Okay, we must respect that these bears are busy foraging for food, natural foods in their home. When you spend time in bear habitat, when you're on the trails, make lots of noise with your voice so you don't surprise a bear. Keep your dog on leash. That helps to keep everybody nice and safe, and give these animals space and time to forage on natural foods. Our recreational activities in their home is certainly displacing them. We're moving them around constantly, and they show excellent tolerance. They're very well adapted animals, and they're incredibly tolerant despite constant harassment from bikers, hikers, and dogs.
All right, Luci, thanks for your tips, and we'll put this online, and hopefully your advice will help break that cycle.
Thank you so much, Thor. Thank you.